This is the introduction to Fallout 4.
Alright, that's it! Send it down!
Almost there. We're gonna be okay. I love you. Both of you.
We love you too.
Oh my god! Now! Send it down now!
Hold on!
Can't this thing move faster?
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
This is the introduction to Skyrim.
What in oblivion is that?
Sentries. What do you see?
It's in the clouds! Don't just stand! Guards, get the townspeople to safety! Someone... Keep your eyes on the kinsman! Get up! Come on, the dogs won't give us another chance! This way!
This is the introduction to Mass Effect 2.
Come on, baby, hold together. Hold together.
This is the introduction to Starfield.
Dusty, you're up. Grab a cutter and mine what you can. Metal deposits are in that cavern. I'll shout out when I need you.
You think we'll be done here soon? Oh, I hear this is the last day.
The introduction to all of these games set the tone for the rest of the experience. Fallout's post-apocalyptic world is interesting and fun to explore. The Elder Scrolls world is fun and interesting to explore. Mass Effect's world immerses you from the start into a galactic war filled with intrigue and interesting alien races. Starfield's world is bland, boring, and not fun or interesting to explore. Even if it was, the quest design and gameplay loop in Starfield is, at least in my personal experience, boring. There will be minor story spoilers in this video, so if you are super sensitive to spoilers, you have been warned. I really wanted to like Starfield. My love for video games can mostly be attributed to my love for Skyrim and Fallout 4. My YouTube channel's success also came from those two games. I love Bethesda Game Studios, and I was incredibly excited for this game. So much so, me being a complete moron, I bought the collector's edition. Although the collector's edition is actually quite neat, the watch is cool. I also booked 2 weeks off of work to play it. I planned to cover Starfield mods on this channel and was excited for a brand new BGS game to immerse myself into and play for 1,000 hours or more like I have Skyrim and Fallout 4. I have played the entire main story, which took me about 20 hours or so, and a few small side quests. While the faction quests might be more interesting, I've heard they are, the main story was so uninteresting and boring, I cannot bring myself to spend any more time playing a game that I just don't enjoy. After the first 5 or 6 hours of this game, I had not gotten hooked yet, and I was starting to worry. I had done some exploring, some really lame and boring side quests, and a little bit of the main story. I wasn't feeling it, so I took to social media and reviews to see what other people were saying. I read on Twitter that the game gets good after 8 hours or so. Another person said they recommended playing the main story to get an understanding of the game. I also watched a Jake Baldino video where he says Starfield grew on him. So I thought, I'll keep going, I'll play through the main story and see if it does get better. To be fair, it did get better, but not so much better that I started enjoying the game, which is a real shame. I'm going to do one more comparison before I get into the meat of this review, comparing two very similar situations and how they played out in Starfield and in Cyberpunk 2077. To set this up, in Starfield you have a meeting with a shady organisation to buy an artifact, but the seller is trying to scam you for double the price. In Cyberpunk, you have set up a meeting with a shady gang where you can buy a robot called the Flathead, but the seller is trying to scam you to pay for it even though the person you work for has already paid for it. This is one of the ways it can play out in Starfield.
So you're Stroud. You look different in person.
Our public relations always insists on doing some touch-ups for the official photos. Embarrassing, really.
Your security here going to stand or sit for this little meeting, making me nervous. So polite. Almost makes me forget what planet I'm on.
Am I to assume that briefcase has our item of interest?
Yeah, here it is.
Well, look at that.
One of a kind. And I know you want it.
I have the amount we agreed on.
Things have changed. I want double.
Now, how am I supposed to do that?
I don't know, but your security here seems to have some fancy gear. Why don't they chip in? Not my problem.
It is if you leave empty-handed. We came here in good faith. Now honor our previous agreement.
You either figure out a way to give me what I want, or I walk out of here right now. I leave now. I can get a jump start on the people after me, instead of you all wasting my time.
You'd be on your way already if you just take the money I'm offering you and shut up. What's it going to be? Take or walk?
You trying to steal from me?
As you can see, we're in control. Take advantage of our generosity. Take the money.
All right. Okay. It's all yours. Hope I never see any of you people ever again.
Have it. This couldn't have gone better.
This is one of the ways it plays out in Cyberpunk 2077.
Alright, keep chilled, V. Remember, we're on their turf.
So what do you want?
You got a bot. Model MT0D12, called the Flathead.
And? The hell you care?
Guy I represent already paid Brick for it. I'm just here for the pickup. I can talk direct to Royce if necessary.
Nah, you talk to me. Name's Dum Dum. Now couch, planet. Well, shit. Goes for you too.
I'll stand.
This so fucking hard? Fucking ass on the fucking couch!
Make me.
Thought you'd never ask. Sit your ass down for a planet bullet in your skull.
Sit down.
This ain't gonna end well, but... shit.
Well, alright. Come on. Gotta lighten up. Take a hit. Better? Now we can talk. Here we go. The Flathead. Model MT0D12.
Need to see it.
Suit yourself. Fucking tricked out this thing. Dynamic thermo-optic camo armor. Full cognitive immersion with a Raven controller. Pimped out prototype actuators made of titanium, vanadium, Kevlar composite. And watch this. Fully integrated Link 2, so when the spider starts crawling up walls dangling from ceilings.
Could lose your lunch.
So what you think?
It'll have to do.
Look at that. Picky little fucker. Let's see your cred.
Brick got it. It's all paid out.
Brick got it. I don't see any fucking brick around here, do you?
Come on. Can't expect me to pay for this thing twice.
And who the fuck are you to say what can and can't be? You'll pay twice because I say you'll pay twice. Alright. You want the flathead? I better see some eddies.
Seeing as you already got the eddies for it, you ought to offer us a discount. A big one.
A discount? Fuck. You know, you never did say who sent you. Never did say who you're working for.
Dexter Deshawn. That's who.
Dexter Deshawn. The lord ass who punching animal fucked half of Pacifica? And he ain't dead?
No, he's alive, well, and kicking. He sends his regards.
So I'm gonna consider my offer now. Bang.
Bring it, cocksuckers!
It's pretty clear what I'm getting at here, right? In Starfield, you will spend a good chunk of your playtime in dialogue, talking to NPCs. I don't have an issue with this. Disco Elysium is one of my favourite games of all time, and that game is mostly dialogue. I also liked Pentiment, which is also mostly dialogue. However, Starfield's dialogue is boring. I never once came away from a conversation with a smile on my face thinking, that was a fun and enjoyable interaction. With a game so dialogue heavy, you need to have interesting characters, and all of the main story companions in Starfield are bland and uninspiring. Let's do more comparisons. So Mass Effect has a lot of companions, and almost all of them are interesting, and conversations with them are enjoyable. The same goes for Baldur's Gate 3. The same can also be said for the romanceable and notable characters in Cyberpunk 2077. Starfield's companions suck. Sarah Morgan is a bland milquetoast leader who has nothing interesting to say except she played in a band. Sam Coe is a space cowboy who loves his daughter, a concept that should make for an interesting character, right? No, talking to him almost puts me to sleep. The only good one is Barrett, who is a Han Solo type explorer who somehow manages to get himself out of impossible situations with his charm and intelligence. The other companions are so forgettable, I don't remember their names. I know Bethesda can do better. Nick Valentine from Fallout 4 is more interesting than all of Starfield's companions combined. The gameplay loop in Starfield sucks. It's fast travel to planet, talk to a dude, fast travel to another planet, talk to another dude, fast travel to another planet, do 5 minutes of combat, and then fast travel back to the lodge with an artifact. It's unsatisfying and too broken up by planet hopping and ship landing cutscenes. The difference between Starfield's exploration and exploring one big map like Fallout 4 and Skyrim is stark. The planet hopping breaks immersion and I don't like it. I much prefer having one big map to explore. One of the late game main story quests was wandering around an empty building for 15 minutes, finding batteries to slot in to power up doors. There were a few quests just as boring as that. One of the side quests I did was 15 minutes of wandering around flipping circuit breakers. There are some things that I do like about Starfield. One of those things is the role-playing. The game allows you to focus your character and mould them into who you want them to be. The addition of backgrounds and traits is fun and allows for some interesting role-playing and dialogue, and for sure encourages multiple playthroughs. Not that I personally will be doing multiple playthroughs, but for those that will, that's great. Even if you do only one playthrough, it's nice to be able to create your own unique, personalised character. The persuade mechanic is interesting. It allows you to pick from a few dialogue options of varying risk and reward levels to try and get the required number of points to pass the persuade check. Certain backgrounds or having gotten unique information from other NPCs can make these easier and give you more options, which is really nice. Not much more to say about this. I actually like the persuade mechanic. The ship combat is also fun. It's the best part of the game for me. The most fun I had was doing the Space Combat Simulator exam. I wish there was more space combat in the main story. The encounters I had were against higher level ships, so I had to flee. I'm sure with a better ship or in the faction quests there is more space combat, and it is certainly a massive strength for the game. If I did play more Starfield, I would want to focus on ship combat content. The user interface is nice, it's all fairly simple to navigate with plenty of helpful shortcuts and gives you all of the information you need. It looks clean, it's nice, and I like it. The music is fantastic, Einonzer is incredibly talented. The perk system also allows you to focus your build to roleplay a specific type of character. There are a good amount of skills and skill trees that let you specialise and build the character that you want to build. However, progression is annoyingly slow, and some basic game mechanics, like the ability to sneak and pickpocket, are locked behind perks you have to spend a valuable perk point on. I understand I only played the main story, so I didn't reach a particularly high level, but I should be able to, having beaten the entire main story, build out my character to make them feel uniquely strong in certain aspects of the game's mechanics. It didn't feel like that to me. All of the interesting perks are locked off until you reach really high levels, and I never got beyond the second level perks. After 20 hours, I would have expected a lot more progression. It feels like the perk system is designed for New Game Plus, which is really lame. The NASA punk style just doesn't resonate with me. I absolutely love Sci-Fi, I love The Expanse TV show, I love Mass Effect, and I love Star Wars. Starfield's semi-realistic NASA aesthetic just doesn't vibe with me. I find it boring. There is not enough sci-fi in this sci-fi game. Mass Effect has lots of alien races who you can meet on the Citadel, all with interesting lore. The Expanse has super compelling characters, and Star Wars has space wizards wielding laser swords. Starfield has metal artifacts that spin around when they get close to each other. Great. I did a little bit of messing around with the outpost system, but it honestly just reminded me of the resource gathering system in Fallout 76, which I absolutely hate. It felt like maybe it was more of an endgame mechanic, so I just didn't do much with it. A quick note on the ending, without spoiling anything. I'm sure some people will like it. I mean, it's interesting in some way, I guess. But by the time I got there, I was so fed up, I just wanted it to be over. So that may have affected my thoughts on it. From a technical level, the game runs okay. Certainly the most bug-free Bethesda Game Studios game at launch, and I'm even playing in early access. I imagine there will be a day one patch. There were a few weird moments with characters clipping into objects and getting stuck, and an elevator panel not working, which meant I had to fast travel to get out of somewhere. Also, there is no HDR, at least on PC, which is strange. Like I said at the start of this video, I really genuinely wanted to love Starfield, and it looks like most people that reviewed the game before me did love, or at the very least like Starfield. So, if you're watching this video and you're thinking you might not want to play Starfield, you might still like it, because it seems like most people do, and I'm very much in the minority here, which is a real shame. I really wish that wasn't the case. I'm probably going to see if I can cancel the second week of my 2 weeks off work and spend the 1 week playing Baldur's Gate 3, maybe also finishing my Mass Effect 3 Renegade run I started before Starfield, while I eagerly await Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty.